Hello, friends. It's time to do my April wrap up. I am going to put my Storygraph wraps up on the screen so that you guys can see. And then we will go through the updates. Again, I'm halfway through May and doing this video very late, but you'll be able to see some of the counts are from May. So there's extra books on here. So guess who has two thumbs and pour water all over her reading notebook or her reading journal, whatever it's called. So this page is a little worse for wear, as is the reading rainbow, but it's kind of bleeding out all over the place now. Oops. I'll have to glue that back on. Apparently this glue is water soluble, so that works. I can't really not have the eyes are the best part in my rainbow. It's one of the best books I read this year so far. Okay, so the reading rainbow is bleeding all over the place. And I think that makes it look more artistic. I don't know, I'm bullshitting, but so far we're at 59 books for up to date to this moment. So halfway through May, we're at 59 books. The alphabet challenge has gotten filled in a bit more. But I still have a few letters that looks like Y, Z, U, and X, Q. And I think I got every other letter. Oh, F and G. Those are easy. Why didn't I get those? Okay, so I've got quite a few letters left to go. Didn't make any headway on my physical TBR that I set out to do at the beginning of the year. Working Title Book Club, that one's defunct. That needs an update. Lots from the library, especially last month, and a couple rereads. New reread. I have not filled this out. I guess I will. Do that. It's really just going to be a straight line though, because I never read less than 10 books. I guess I might at some point, but we'll see. All right, so let's get into April, and I'll put the book up over here so you can see it, so you don't have to look at my tiny, because I ran out of room. So the way I did this all last year, so I didn't know what my reading was going to be like, or what it was going to look like for the month. So I have every intention of using the bigger covers, but then I read a whole bunch, so it didn't fit all of them. First off, I read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and that was for my local book club. I loved it. So you follow Alex, who is a part of Yale University, and she's a student there for the intents of the book, and she is looking for her lost friend Darlington, and you get kind of like a dual timeline between Alex and Darlington, and in the past, and then Alex looking in the present to find her friend, and she needs to investigate all of the secret societies that are there. So there's many different ones, and they all have really cool names, and I don't remember any of them, but definitely that was a 5-star. Pretty sure. I'm gonna scoot up here just to be sure. Yeah, 5 stars. Next was To Be Taught If Fortunate, which is a novella by Becky Chambers. She wrote Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and she wrote the I keep wanting to say Wild Robot because that's the one my son reads, but it's not Wild Robot. It's the robot series where the monk and the robot travel and look at the world, things like that. So this was a group of space explorers going to basically get to first contact, and they're blasting their signal, and it talks about the interpersonal relationships between them. Becky Chambers is always very good at inclusiveness, so she's always got some LGBT members in there, and I like reading her for that reason. Next was ASL, which is a new release by Jean Thornton. This follows 3 teenagers back in the 90s when people used to go into chat rooms on the internet. I don't know who even remembers chat rooms anymore, but this was in IRC. So IRC was like, if you were on AOL, you were not cool. If you had IRC, you were like back level, super cool. You knew the internet. So this follows 3 teenagers, and they are building a game together. And it follows them in the past and in the present, where they are all adults, and how they find their way back to each other. Next up was The Silent Patient, which I read for my Working Title Book Club. This is the story of a woman who is accused of her husband's murder, and she meets a new doctor at the facility where she is being held. And you get, again, dual timeline. I think this is the theme for the month. But it's a dual timeline, and it is leading up to the murder and what happens and how you figure out who the real murderer is, basically. Next up is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This is about a young girl who finds that she has an inexplicable hunger for eyeballs, and she gets into these positions where she has the opportunity to eat them. And this book was great. I don't even know how to explain it in a way that would make it more interesting than that, because I was hooked by eating eyeballs. I don't know what that says about me, but sure. So this is really great. This was the same author that wrote Mocha. That just came out, and I bought that, but I haven't read it yet. Next up was The Bog Wife, which I also gave 5 stars. This is about a family who lives in Appalachia, and they are bound by the traditions of their family and what their father expected of them. And their father's dying, so they are all coming together to see him off, basically. If you like eco horror or plants taking over, any of that kind of stuff, I'm not saying that's what's in the book, but you should read that book. Next one was Briar Book of the Dead. It follows a woman from a magical family who has no magic herself. She is trying to save her little town, and of course, my brain is going to blank out when I am filming a video. So this one it's a mystery, it's cozy, it's really, really well done. Next up was Rouge by Mona Awad. This is about a woman who is obsessed with skincare. And I realized through reading this that I am also obsessed with skincare because of the things that she says. So anyway, her mother dies. That's the end of the story. No, and she goes to find out the group that her mother belonged to before her death. Next is A Sorceress Comes to Call. That is by T. Kingfisher. I think this is also a new release because it was just put up at the library and I grabbed it. It's about a social climbing sorceress, and she marries an eligible bachelor in the area and then has a lovely tussle with the gentleman's older and wiser sister. Also nice and cozy. I think if you are looking for something sweet and fun to read, and you want cozy, Briar Book of the Dead and Sorceress Comes to Call. Those are my two recommendations for this month. Next up was How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This is about a brother and sister whose parents have passed away, and they have to go and clean out their house. So they find that the attic has been boarded up and that certain pieces of their parents' life refuses to be tossed away. And that's all I'm going to say about that one. Next up was A Monster Calls. This is a middle grade book about a little boy whose mother's sick. Apparently all the parents dying. It's like a Disney month. It's about a little boy whose mother is very sick, and he needs to come to terms with the fact that she is terminally ill. And he meets a monster in his yard, and the monster tells him 3 stories. And at the end, he says, "You will tell me a story." And we go through each of the different stories from the monster, and they're obviously a lesson for the little boy. So I don't know if I said this was a middle grade book, so that satisfied my Our Fantasy Square for middle grade. It was really cute. I listened to this on audio, and it was Jason Isaacs, who is one of my favorite actors, and I loved his voice. So it was really cute and a short read. Next up, We Love You, Bunny by Mona Awad. This book was sad. I know a lot of people didn't like it, and I didn't hate it, but there were parts of it that I thought were really strong and parts of it that I thought were really boring. So I found myself trying to slog through them because I loved Bunny so, so much. It's worth a read, but I would say it's a library pickup if possible. Next up is In the Quick by Kate Hope Day. That is about a woman who is in astronaut school, and she is poised to help some of her uncle's students. The school was started by her uncle, and so she's there trying to help his students navigate an entirely new planet. Pretty quick read, and really, I think I gave this one 5 stars too. I have to pick. I really liked it. I thought it was very sad and very well written. I had never read anything by her before, so 4 stars on that one. And then last up was Blues for Mr. Charlie, which is a play by James Baldwin. And I just love the way that James Baldwin writes. He's so lyrical that you picture the people, and in this play, it was like watching a play unfold in your brain. It's a very short read, definitely worth picking it up. Anything by James Baldwin, worth reading. So that's about it. That's my April wrap-up. In the comments below, if you made it this far, I don't know, give me an apple. I don't know why an apple, just an apple. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.